Welcome back everyone. So you join me this morning. I'm on the M25 and I'm on my way over to see Kev from Stream Cars. Kev's got some interesting vehicles and some nice watches to show us. We're going to do a little bit of a comparison video, should be fun. Hopefully going to take one or two of these nice cars out, have a little look over them and get some advice from one of the country's most fussiest car dealers. Now that's the only problem with Kev. I love him to bits, but he is the world's most annoying, the most fussiest person I've ever met. Is the sort of guy that wants me to wipe me feet before I even get into one of his cars. But it is what it is. Today you're going to learn exactly why I call him Filofax Kev. Where is he? Let's have a look. Oh, that looks like a nice old Merc on the drive. I like, oh, here he is, look. You'd never guess. Look, have a look. Here he is. Having a polish. Kev's having a polish. Morning, Kev. Caught you having a polish. Bit early for that, isn't it?
Oh, I've got to get the chrome looking nice.
How are you, mate?
I've just been trying to get these looking good, but the rain came earlier on and scuppered it all. So
yeah, it's been raining.
Got showered on, unfortunately.
Pretty much all the way up here. This looks like a nice little selection. You've been out buying more Aston Martins.
This one I'm about to buy a birthday cake for, actually. This came from a viewer of the channel, in fact.
You've had it too long, this one, haven't you?
I've had it a while. There's been a situation where I think it's the King of Bahrain or someone in the Middle East royal family had a collection of cars, and they've unloaded them onto the market, and it's really damaged values.
Really?
There's been a lot of cheap
the Aston
cars.
Martin market?
Yeah, particularly the collectible ones.
Now, never mind the Aston Martins, mate. I've got my eye on that.
That's a bit special,
wow,
isn't it? I wanted you to see that. Yeah.
I love this.
Yes.
How long have you had this?
It came in on Monday.
Wow.
Goes out on Monday as well. It's already sold.
It's already sold?
Yeah. Yeah, got it for a customer. Sourced it from Ireland.
That is, what year is that, Kev?
1969.
69?
Yeah.
It's a long time since you've had a 69, isn't it? Yeah.
It's younger than you.
Yeah.
It's better than you too.
Oh, I love that, Kev. Left-hand drive.
Yeah, California car. And the most fabulous story.
Came from California, you say, yeah?
It was delivered to America. It's California spec, so California bumpers. The Mercedes dealer in the US will have fitted air conditioning to it. It's a car that was in the boot. Actually, this is what's really special. There's a suitcase full of history, 4 or 5 folders full of bills and receipts, an invoice from one lady to another who sold the car after she'd bought it. She owned it 7 years, sold it to someone else. She sold it for $4,500
wow.
to the next owner, who then kept it 7 years and sold it on again. There's a traceable history all the way through its life, and the most special car, really. When you've got it is, yeah.
Yeah, open it up,
yeah.
Kev.
Have a look.
So if you sold it, I can't drive it. I'd love to have had a go in that, mate. That is awesome.
We can take it up and down the road.
Look at this dash. That is just stunning. 33,000 miles. Is that from new?
That's around the clock.
That's around the clock, is
that's
it?
133.
I was going to say,
it
wow.
drives beautifully. The gearbox has been overhauled. I mean, the thing about these cars, they have more money spent on them than their original purchase price, you know. So this has kept many companies in business, supplying parts and labour to the industry to maintain this car.
This is a work of art, isn't it?
This is what I'm talking about as well. Look at this folder here, right? So we've got an advert for the car. How about this? So over-engineered, it manoeuvres in traffic like a whippet and herd of buffalo. It refers to the yellow pages down here.
This is a bit of you, isn't it? Filofax Kev.
Oh,
I mean,
love
you
it.
love all this stuff.
I do. I mean, just it's so fabulous to have all this with the car. So the history of the ownership, so supplied to, I'm not going to mention names obviously for GPDR, but it lists who owned it first. Her name is very similar, well, it's the same as a famous razor company. She was actually very renowned in her own right. She was the very first lady in America to be a named partner at a law firm.
Wow.
So she had the car, what does it say here, retired and moved to Cape Cod, and then sold the car.
Yeah, I've just seen a Cape Cod sticker in the back there.
Yeah.
That's unreal, Kev. I love that.
All these documents in here, just really fabulous. I love it.
Kev's in his element with all that paperwork. Do you know what? I love this sort of thing. I absolutely love it. I mean, it's just amazing. What does it drive like?
Like an old car.
It drives like an old car, does it?
Yeah, yeah. But that's part of its charm, right?
So what's it worth, Kev? What's a car like this worth?
80,000 euros.
So it's going, why in euros?
Well, it came in from Ireland.
Okay. So that's what you sold it for, 80,000 euros?
Yes.
Do you know what? I can see the money in that.
Mm.
I mean, it's a lot of money, but I can see the money in it. Find another one of those, like that.
Well, that's the thing, and I went and saw 3, and they'd all been got at, is the trade term for it. You know, poor restorations, cheaply done. One car that looked fabulous from about 6 foot away, and then when I got up close and started inspecting underneath, pockets of rust. They have these sills that they put on, or plastic sill covers, that hide a multitude of sins down in this area here, and this thing had that, and they were poorly aligned.
It's a bit like me and you, really, Kev. All right from a distance.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you get too close.
Yeah, so please not too close with the camera, hey? Yeah, I haven't shaved today. Yeah.
I'd never have guessed. Oh, mate, I can't wait to get out in that. Right, you going to make me a cup of tea?
Yes, come on.
Yeah?
Let's
get
tea
in
or
and have
coffee,
a cup of tea, and we'll have a little look round. So thanks for inviting me over, Kev. Always a pleasure to be here, mate. You've got some nice cars out there that I'm looking forward to having a little look round.
I thought you'd come and have a look.
Yeah, exactly. But what we've done is, to make it a little bit more interesting, you've bought some nice watches out, and what we're going to do is compare what you can buy car-wise by comparison to, say, watches. So we're going to show the viewers some watches, and you're going to value them as like the same value of the car. Does that make sense?
That's the intention.
Yeah. So where are we going to start then? Which car and which watches we're going to start with?
Well, you could argue a case for all of them. I've been to the bank this morning, just pulled out a few that I thought might be the most appropriate.
Yeah.
But why don't we start with the Pagoda?
Okay.
Right, so that's a classic car.
Is that the thing that goes over your house and has flowers hanging off it?
That's a Pagoda. What's he like, eh? Yeah, the 280 SL Pagoda Mercedes. So that's a little bit avant-garde, someone that's a bit, a bit edgy perhaps, someone that wants something a bit different, a bit like you wearing those shirts. Yeah. And I thought perhaps this Rolex Platinum Arabic dial day date might fit the bill there.
Let's get... So yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I mean...
That's a 2018 discontinued Amman card.
And is this for sale?
Can be, yeah.
So what's the value? How do you value this, and how do you value the car?
Well, interestingly, the market on that went up to about £180,000, and now you can buy that for 80 grand. So if you bought that at the peak, you'd have lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
But we've seen from the history of this Mercedes that it's continued to rise.
Yeah.
And at its present value, they are on par.
So it's pretty much like for like. You could have the car or the watch.
Yeah.
What would you prefer?
I'm not a fan of the watch, actually. I mean, I like it because it's rare, and intrinsically rare dials have a store of value. But I would have the car.
I think on this occasion, because I always work on find me another one, I'm going to go for the car as well. Mm-hmm. But a lovely watch. I mean, really, really nice watch. I actually like the dial, Kev. I like the dial a lot. But I think in this case, because I could go out and buy another one of these,
Yeah.
not easily, but with relative ease,
Yeah.
I'd have to go for the car. But I can see why you've compared the two, and I think this is absolutely beautiful.
That looks good on you, actually.
It does, yeah, it does. Not quite sure that it goes with the shirt, but
It would go with my blue shirt, though.
yeah,
wouldn't
go with yours, yeah. Okay, so let's move on. So that's the day date in comparison with the Mercedes. Yeah, £80,000 or euros are we talking?
Pounds.
Pounds, right. I know, because you said you bought the car in euros, right?
I did, but just for
the argument's sake, for this we'll go
comparison.
pounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
What we're going to go for next?
Well, there's a DB9 just there.
Now, which one is that, Kev? Because I don't know the difference.
The DB9 is this blue car, sapphire blue with sandstorm leather interior. It's actually fitted with a set of DBS wheels, which is something a bit different. I do have the original wheels with the car. They're fully refurbished and in boxes if anyone wants the original wheels with it. The full description of the car on my website. I've got that car up for £30,000.
Right.
So the closest to 30 grand probably in this market would be this Vacheron.
Okay. So what are you asking for this, Kev?
29 I would take.
Okay,
for
so
that.
very, very close.
Yeah.
Let's have a little look.
So this is a 2023 overseas dual time, black dial, and it comes with a rubber and leather strap as well.
Now this, for me, I've got to be honest with you, is one of the most underrated watches in the world.
Isn't it?
Absolute quality, just oozes class. If you see someone wearing this watch, you don't have to ask. You know they know their watches and they appreciate a good watch. So, out of the two, the car or the watch, which would you go for?
Now that's a harder question.
Shall I go first this time?
Why don't you?
I'll go for the watch.
Okay.
Definitely. Personally, for me, the watch all day long. What about you?
Well, I own both. The DB9 is actively for sale, and this isn't. I wouldn't be unhappy to keep it.
So you're going to say the watch as well?
I think I'm saying watch.
You're saying the watch
Yeah,
as well?
what watch is harder to come by. DB9s are 2 a penny. Condition though.
2 a penny? Well, I've got 10 pence to spend today, so...
What I mean by that is that you could look on Auto Trader and find a lot.
Yeah, you can find a lot. Yeah.
What you won't find though is a car in that condition.
Yeah.
With the history, with the bills and receipts, the upgrades, the 5 grand's worth of wheels. It's had Vantage engineering suspension put on the car, which is fully adjustable and reversible if someone didn't want that. I've got the original shock absorbers as well, but that was £4,000 the gentleman spent on it, and it is absolutely perfect condition. I mean, go round it, of course, it's a huge car, but on the road, 40,000 miles. Yeah. Look at it with a microscope or a magnifying glass, you'll pick up minor flaws.
Like any pre-owned watch, I guess.
Well, yeah, exactly. But this is true new. Yeah. First time it's been on anyone's wrist, probably the second time with you just now.
Yeah. So Kev, what's next?
Right, well, we're talking about Aston Martins now.
Yeah.
And there are 3 of them. DB9 we've mentioned. The next one, let's talk about the DBS. And when you talk about Aston Martins, inevitably the name James Bond comes up. Well, the DBS was seen in Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace, being driven by Daniel Craig. They also have an association with Omega and Girard Perregaux at the moment.
Yeah.
So 2 watches for you this time.
Okay.
I thought, let's show you.
What are we talking about value-wise here then? What's the value of the car, first of all?
Okay, the car is 70,000.
Okay,
so
neither of these watches are going to come close to the value.
They don't come close to the value in the case of these 2, but the next 2 will do.
Okay.
So
let's have a look at the James Bond associated watches. Give me the GP, mate. Let's have a look at that. Nice dial on this, Kev. I like the dial.
Yeah. Blue's popular, isn't it? This is the only one here on a leather strap.
And what sort of money would this be?
This would be 10 to 12.
Okay. So the set of wheels and the steering wheel on the car, perhaps.
the wheels for sure. Yeah, it's not so much about the value of the watch; it's about the
association with James
comparison.
Bond. Yeah, let's have a look at the Omega. The Omega's lovely.
The Omega this is a 70s watch, and this is the original Hesalite dial.
And this one's not for sale, you said, didn't you?
This is one of, well, they're all my own collection, but some I could be parted from easier than others.
Yeah.
This is just a lovely little thing that speaks to me whenever I wear it.
So I'm going to be honest, Kev, now, and I want you to tell me the truth. Do you ever put this watch on, go out in the Aston and, you know, have that dun 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 dun
Bond moment.
You sure?
I've not done that.
You're not lying to me, Kev, are you? Because I think you're a bit of a Bond fanatic. I think you're, you know, a bit of a secret
Bond fan.
Bond fanboy.
Yeah.
That's lovely. So far, my favourite watch that I've looked at is the Vacheron.
Yeah, I can see why.
And probably this second, from a historical
From the history
viewpoint.
point of view, yes, yeah.
So,
well, you can just feel history in the watch, can't you?
yeah, it has
so
a special feeling to it. Yeah.
You've got a little bit of creaming on the battens.
Yeah, on the hour markers. Yeah.
Bit of patina going on there. Yeah, this is a nice thing.
I think at the moment I'd like to drive home in the Merc and the Vacheron so far.
Okay, we haven't put those two together, have we?
No.
Now, if we put watches together closer to their value.
Yeah.
So here's a Patek Aquanaut GMT.
So which car are we comparing this one to?
This is the same. Both either of those, the DBS or the Vanquish.
Right.
Vanquish S. So grey market price on that 58 grand.
How much does that drop, Kev?
Oh, they were 100, weren't they?
So again, I'm going to ask you the question: which would you rather have, the car or the watch?
The car in that case.
The car in that case, because of the value, really.
That, and because that's a much rarer car, being a manual.
You obviously rate the Aston Martins a lot because you've always got a lot in stock, or one or two in stock.
I found a niche with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. The buyers of them seem to trust me, unlike Porsche buyers who want everything done on a car. However old it is, they want the suspension rebuilt. There's multiple issues with the early 996s and some of the 997s. They suffer from something called bore score, and everyone asks if it's had its IMS bearing replaced, whether it's needed to be done or not.
Yeah.
And yeah, those are cars that can be
I
troublesome
know
from a
Porsche buyers and Omega owners have the same reputation
fussy.
as being really, really fussy, and in a nice kind of a way, often expecting perhaps too much for their money.
Exactly.
Or expecting too much original stuff to come with the watch.
Yeah.
You know, I've told this story before. I remember having a vintage Omega once, and the watch was in mint condition. It had absolutely everything with it, and the guy travelled a long way to see it, and he didn't buy it because it didn't have its original receipt from the 1970s. You know, an original receipt, Kev, was the only thing that it was missing, but that was enough to turn him off.
That was, yeah, I mean, he could have asked the question before he travelled.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, you know, to be fair to him, I had advertised it as a complete and utter full set.
Right.
Which it was. I just hadn't considered
That an
the
original
original receipt was
that.
part of the full set.
Yeah.
But look, you know, fair play to Porsche and Omega owners, if that's the way they are.
Yeah.
You know, I understand it.
Yeah. Well, as you say, I do well with Astons, and I like them. Fortunately, I've got two of them in stock that I've had for some time, the Vanquish being the one that's been in stock the longest. But, you know, the car is absolutely beautiful, underside as well. I could enter that in a concourse.
Well, we'll have a look in a minute
and win medals.
But if I went inside Kev Towers now and had a little nose around, I'm not going to find a replica PPK, am I? A Wolfer PPK that you tuck in your pocket
and a shoulder holster.
You look in the mirror when you're out on your own and you go
like that.
What we got there?
I was going to put this with the Aquanaut.
Okay.
Because if you like black, this is a black PVD watch.
Yeah. Now I've actually owned this watch myself.
So you know what it is.
Yeah. I really like it. I don't know actually why I sold it, to be fair, but you know what I'm like, Kev, I don't keep
Get
anything.
bored, don't you?
Yeah, I get bored very easily.
Yeah.
I go through just about everything in my life very quickly. Friends especially, so make the most of it.
Maybe after Geneva we'll fall out.
Yeah, oh God, don't even talk about Geneva. I've got to put up with you and his lordship for 3 days.
2 of us.
That's going to be trying, isn't it? It should be fun though. So value on this now, Kev?
I would say it's about 8,000.
Oh, as much as that now?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were they new? Do you remember?
5.5.
Yeah, I think I bought mine at just under list and sold it for pretty much what I paid for it. Yeah, so watch I should have kept, really, to be fair.
So if we put that, and so you could own the Aquanaut and the Tudor.
Yeah.
And have 3 or 4 grand change.
And a bit of spare change.
Yeah.
So you go for but you
the
still
car.
go for the car yourself, yeah.
Well, the Aquanaut is the easier acquisition. The Tudor, there are far fewer of those around because this is a limited edition All Blacks one. So that's harder, but because the value isn't there, I think I'd probably still go
for the car.
Yeah.
And the last one?
The last one is this. We've got an AP.
Now this
not
is a
an
bit,
offshore.
This is a bit more me though, Kev, isn't it? This one, to be fair.
It is, yeah. That's the Panda.
So value on the car that we're going to look at?
Well, the car, as I said, or both those cars, 70,000. Or if you come back to the DB9, 30.
Yeah.
Well, 38 grand would buy that watch.
So really, we need 1 3/4 of these to make up to the value of the car, don't we?
38 and this Vacheron 68. Two lovely watches.
So if we do that, let's have the Vacheron as well.
The Platinum buys that costs more than the car or cars.
I've got to be honest, Kev, I'm starting to see value in the watches here.
Uh-huh.
You know, when I look at these two or the car.
The biggest value is in that DB9 for 30 grand.
Yeah.
You know, when you think that's 30, the car next to it is the same engine, only a modified suspension and some carbon and bits added to it, and yet it's £40,000 more than double the price of it.
I'm going for the watches this time around, definitely, because you've got a beautiful contrast there. You've got a silver on black and then a black on silver. So you've got one for day, one for night, one for best, one for every day.
Yeah.
Take your pick. So yeah, I'm definitely going for the watches on the last one.
Yeah.
And you?
I'm going car.
You're going the car again?
Yeah.
So you are a car man first at heart, aren't you, really?
I am.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, so let's go and have a look at some of these cars. What are we going to jump in first?
Do you want to drive them?
I want to drive them, yeah.
Okay.
I've not come all this way to look at them.
Are we filming this?
I'm a tyre kicker. Right, so let's get out then. I think we'll take the Merc out first, because that's the one that I'm really in love with. And
pair that with the Platinum.
The Platinum day date that we spoke about with the Arabic hour markers. Let's go. Let's get out.
All right, let's have it.
Look at this dash. I absolutely love it.
That's put a smile on your face, hasn't it?
Mate, I feel like I'm in 1960s California here. Yeah.
Can you imagine driving this back in the day, how special you would have felt?
Driving along the coast road. Unbelievable.
To have owned this at that time, this car probably cost as much as a house.
Columbo's going to step out in front of me in a minute and I'm going to have to pull up.
Same colour as his Mac.
And he's going to say, just one more thing. Right, jump in.
You're going to start it up?
Yep, have a listen to this, boys.
She's on the button, huh? Straight away.
So where's the seatbelt then, Kev? Oh, I've got it.
It is there.
Yeah.
And it has been fitted with inertia reel belts.
Means it comes in and out on its own.
Means it comes off the spool rather than just being just like a lap belt.
Yeah. Right, away we go. Do you know, I've never had a problem driving left-hand drive.
Me neither.
I actually, when I was younger, I used to have a lot of left-hand drive cars, and I found it quite nice because I could be lazy and just park up and get straight out on the pavement. You know?
Well, if you hadn't voted for Brexit, there'd be far more available.
Don't start me on that one. I'll have another load of hate now.
So the brakes are good, but the remote, where you go, that's a dead end up there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we won't go that way then. Yeah, you've got the typical vintage car squeaks and
Yeah.
no reversing
I
sensors.
keep going for the pedals here.
No reversing sensors.
No. The brakes are good, but remember they're old car brakes.
Yeah. So no tailgating. Do you know what? This is crazy. I'm literally sitting here, and it does take you back in time.
For sure.
It does take you back in time. The only one thing missing for me, an armrest. I do like an armrest.
You could put one in. You could build one in. Okay, you're good to go. You're in second gear. You need to.
Oh, it's manual.
Well, no, it's full auto, but you need to put it that it will hold each gear, so you can go up to fourth gear. That's it. Or go.
Oh, okay. So to pull away in like full auto, you put it in fourth, yeah?
You could do it. It's tractable. It's torquey enough to pull straight away. Yeah.
Drives well though, Kev. Drives nice.
Yeah.
Whoever's bought this has bought themselves a lovely car.
Yeah.
Now let's make it clear, you're not trying to sell this because it's already sold,
This
right?
is pre-sold.
Yeah.
So what I am saying though is that if someone would like a car such as this, if they would like me to source them something, I'm more than happy to do that.
And you went through quite a few before you found this, didn't you?
I did, yeah. And you know, it's sometimes a deal that just comes together because the buyer is sensible. And
where am I going, Kev? Straight on?
Let's go straight up to the roundabout and then we'll come back down. So it needs all parties to work together. You know, the chap selling the car, the dealer that was selling it on his behalf, the guy that was buying the car, and then me.
Oh mate, it's absolutely stunning. I could see why someone would want this, but do you know what? If it was mine, this would go in the garage. It's the sort of car that you go in the garage, right? You make yourself a cup of tea, you go in there, you give it a polish, you just sit there and look at it, don't you? That's what you do, really.
Yeah, and a lot of the time, cars like this get used very sparingly.
Yeah.
High days and holidays.
On the odd Sunday, nice little ride
Sunday
out.
drive, take it to a show, take it to a car meet. Should we put some air conditioning on?
Yeah. It's actually surprising how nice it drives. Yeah, you're right about the brakes. They're not like 21st century brakes, are they?
No.
But gentlemen of our vintage, Kev, we're used to that sort of thing.
We know what we're doing.
We know what we're doing.
You're going to need to be behind this lorry on our right hand side because this goes onto the motorway. So
I've got the indicators right there.
Indicators are there, yeah, hold them up.
Oh, I've just come a crop of there because there's no right-hand mirror.
Do you know that was an extra?
That took me by. That was an extra, was it?
Extra. Yeah. When I went through the options sheet on this, there were 12 options on the car.
Yeah.
Now whether that was the full options list, I don't know. But these days you've got 12 pages of options, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know, so paint was an option. Air conditioning was fitted when the car got into the States.
Look at this Becker Grand Prix. Look, I mean, this is just stunning.
That's the original Becker Grand Prix stereo.
And what year again is this?
69.
So I was 8 years old when this was made.
Yeah, and I was 5. Stickers on the windscreen here that shows where the car's been to and its
Oh, Kev, the brakes are gone. The brakes are gone. The brakes are gone. Had you worried then for a minute? I see that look in your eye.
What's he like?
Look at all the wooden on the dash as well. It's just.
I just noted a bit coming up there actually. You know, I mean.
You'll be on that later, won't you? Hey.
What can they do? Get it removed.
I think I'd oil this.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I think I'd oil that.
Give it a stain.
Well, I've got to tell you, I've got the the day date on, and I'm driving the Merc, and I've not changed my mind. In fact, it's only reaffirmed that, given the choice of the watch or the car, I'm definitely in love with the Merc.
It's the car,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's beautiful.
Yeah. Even though you get more use out of the watch, but you'd get more enjoyment out of just looking at the car, wouldn't you?
And you know something though, I will say this, amazingly, for a vintage car, which is now what it is, right, it drives very much like a modern vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel that I could drive this now to the Midlands, further up to Scotland if I wanted. It's not a car that you're going to be uncomfortable in. The seating is actually really comfy.
It's capable of doing long miles, you know.
Yeah.
It's a big engine. I don't know what it does to the gallon. We can feel it nipping along here.
Yeah.
What are we doing, 50 miles an hour?
50 mile an hour, yeah. Kev, like, I've seen, you know, the way that you buy and sell your cars. Not so much sell, but I see what you buy. You're quite unique, aren't you, in what you do, really. I think that you buy cars in the same way in which I used to buy watches. You're buying them for yourself, aren't you, really?
I actually am, yeah. And it's funny because a lot of dealers will have what they call a stock profile, and that might be up to a certain value, or it might be convertibles or sports cars.
Yeah, their own niche.
I will actually buy anything as long as it's a nice car. That's what I tell them my USP is.
Yeah.
So from £5,000 to 50,000 is probably where the biggest spread of cars that I sell.
Yeah.
I'll go over that. You know, if someone asks me to source them a
But you have to like them
Ferrari
yourself,
F40,
don't
yeah. Well, I started off, I had my own Range Rover, which I sold and put into two cars, a Jeep and a Ford KA. And I went from there, and that was 18 years ago, and now
Never look back.
I stock, you know, predominantly prestige and sports cars, but I'm able to move with the market as well, because, you know, at the moment some of those more expensive cars are not selling as easily. So in order to keep busy, I will go and buy an Audi TT or a Mini or a Mercedes A-Class. You know, I sold an ML Mercedes last week. Jaguar XF as well, you know, so cars like that, as long as they're nice, they've got good history and good condition, then I'm more than happy to put my name to.
Yeah, nice. I think it's a good ethos, and I've got to say it's exceeded my expectations. The one thing that I would say is, if it drives like this now, imagine what it was like the day it came out of the show.
I know, yeah.
By comparison to what was on the market back then.
At the time.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you see that advert that's in the paperwork that said it manoeuvres like a whippet in a herd of buffalo.
Yeah.
That's a statement that's saying this was a super handling car.
Well, when you think about it as well, Kev, I mean, in the British market at least, this car would have been competing with like Morris Minors and Vauxhall Vivas.
Jaguars, probably.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the quality of car that the average person would own.
Yes.
If you went out on the street in 1969, you know, people were driving Morris Minors and Vauxhall Vivas, etc. You know, so this would have stood out like a sore thumb. Beautiful car.
Thank you.
Lovely, mate. Worth every penny.
Good.
Right, what's next?
Right, DB9.
Kev, I've got some bad news. I've just counted them. You're a stone missing.
10 tons of gravel this is.
I bet you that sums you up. That you're the sort of man that would count the stones to make sure they're all level and even.
You know, is that even possible? I do go around it and pick out the weeds though.
So, not being an Aston Martin man, really, Kev, what's the difference between the three models?
Well, they all have a V12 engine.
Yeah.
The difference between them is that this is the car that's the cheapest and they made the most of the three that are here. The car on the end, the Vanquish S, is a much rawer experience.
Yeah. I like the one in the middle best, personally.
That's the DBS, and that's a manual.
Okay.
So you'll see the difference there.
Right, well, let's jump in and let's. Is it open?
It is open, so you just push that's it.
Oh, I see.
And
Yeah.
then make sure you wipe your feet.
Oh God. Here he goes. Look, he's off again. Look. See, I told you I weren't joking. Look. No passing wind either.
Right, you've got a conventional ignition, which you found,
Certainly.
and then push button to start.
Oh, hello. That sounds a bit different.
There's a roar, isn't there?
How do I move this seat forward?
That's
Let's have a look.
electrically operated, and there, you found it. Let me put my
Right, we ready?
Let me put my belt on.
You right?
Yeah.
You nervous?
Not at all. No, I've been on some hairy.
Not as nervous as I was in that bloody helicopter you took me in at, and
That was fun, wasn't it?
Las Vegas. It was. Right. Where's the gear stick, Kev?
Right. So drive is D. So put
There's
your
a
foot
clue.
on, put your foot on the
There
brake.
we go.
and then-
We're off. We're up and running.
That's
Do
it.
you know what, Kev? I might even get a driving licence one day.
I think
They're coming handy, wouldn't they?
I think you should get yourself a nice sports car. You know, driving that old Blancmange around.
Yeah, but that.
Mind the wheels as you turn left. Look, he bumps off the curb.
Oh God.
Oh, what's he like? This car has been updated with the latest infotainment system. It's got Apple CarPlay, which has been installed at Aston Installations. They are a company that modernised the interior of Aston Martins because their infotainment system is rather shocking.
Right.
Uses an old Volvo sat-nav screen, and then just in here you've got the toggles to go through the screen up there. So that brings it up into a modern day car.
So I'm wearing,
So you've got
The
Vacheron here.
and this is comparable price-wise. You said.
In the closest terms,
So it's one or the other.
one or the other.
But you're not offering that, are you?
I'm not, and I've got interest in this car from two people.
Yeah. You might not have after I've finished driving it. You might have some interest from the scrapyard after I've finished.
Getting out of here, coming.
Order will refurbisher. Here we go. Whoa.
Right.
Come on, good God.
It's got a roar to it, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. I'm feeling very Daniel Craig sitting here, mate.
No, this actually isn't a Bond car.
You have to spoil it, don't you? There's me, you know, I've got the James Bond thing going
Well,
on
we're
in
working
here.
up to that. So more of a touring car, a GT. They call them Grand Tourers, GT cars. This is for crossing continents.
See, it's very nice. I can feel why someone would fall in love with a car like this. But I've got to be honest, Kev. I preferred the Merc.
Well, yeah, because that's got character. This is soulless, really, isn't it?
Well, I wouldn't say it's soulless. I mean, it does have a right-hand mirror, which is handy. I mean, that's a bit of a bonus, especially when you're trying to pull out. Someone's put the heated seats on. I'm about to cook here. Where's the heated seats? Can we turn them off? Jesus.
He's just noticed.
Let me just tell you guys, have you done that on purpose? You haven't you? You've done that on purpose. I'm cooking up here. I'm feeling like I'm on holiday in Turkey at the moment.
We're in a Turkish bar.
Are you going to turn it off, or am I going to have to look from here? That's it, there and it. No, that's the
It's
aircon.
not. That's the
Oh, he
AC.
stitched me right up here. He's turned the aircon off, and he's put me heated seat on full. I'm going to have to open the window in a minute,
Stop.
Kev.
Well, that won't be very good for the audio.
Now, you should know better. You should know better than to try and stitch me up.
Do you know, I was going to give you a different postcode this morning and send you to the dump.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't play it, but you should know better than to play tricks on me, Kev, especially when we've got a trip to Geneva coming up.
I think with Spencer's going to be the fall guy, isn't he?
Oh, I've got a few bits planned for him, don't worry about that. I'll make sure that he's sorry he came. Yeah, very nice, very, very sedate, unless you want to put your foot down. I mean, you could,
Whoa.
I'm saying that. God, it does like the kick off, doesn't it?
Go on then, put your foot down.
You could drive it sedately if you wanted to.
You can. This is a car that you could use daily for sure.
But having said that, it is a car that's saying to me, come on then, let's have it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not necessarily a good thing, is it?
Well, you're driving it for the first time and you want to experience what it's capable of.
Can you turn that bloody heated seat off?
It's down there.
Where is it?
Down there.
Oh my good God. Thank God for that.
What I find when I've got a powerful car is I actually drive it less fast than a car that has a much smaller or less capable engine.
It's very quick off the throttle, this though. You know, as soon as you touch that accelerator, bang, you're away.
This has got very nice suspension fitted to it as well, so if you drove another one back to back, you might notice that this is a little bit firmer and sharper.
Yeah, I mean, this feels like a sports car.
Yeah.
To me, you know, it feels, trying to compare it to a car that I've had in the past, I suppose the nearest I could compare this to would have been a Ferrari. You know, from a
performance point of view.
Performance point of view.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other comparison. V12 only. Right, put your foot down when the lights change.
If I get a speeding ticket in this, Kev, it's down to stream cars, right?
So we can take the next right here.
Yeah, we'll do that. So what we're going to try next?
Indicate, and then pull straight into the central reservation there. Pull straight in, get out of the road, that's it. This can be challenging, getting across here.
This is the bit where you have to risk your life. Keep filming, Kev, because if I crash it, that'll be the best video I've ever had, so don't turn that camera off. In fact, if I pick the right victim, the views might even pay for the damage.
And actually, I'm the one that's going to get crushed.
Well, that's double views.
This is why I didn't want you to come over here in that left-hand drive Mercedes.
Well, I'm nearer to the traffic then, Kev. It's a better position to be in because I'm another 4 foot nearer.
But the chances of it conking out going across are higher. Right, go.
There we go. Safe and sound, look. So points out of 10 for this one, Kev. I'm going to be a little bit harder on this one, mate. I'm going to give this a 6 for me. Personally, for me. I'm going to restrict it to a 6, I think.
Leave it here and I'll pop it straight in the garage.
Yeah, lovely. Now this one, Kev, I've got to be honest with you, from a looks viewpoint, is the one that I like the most.
Sexier, isn't it?
Yeah, is this the one that's had the upgraded wheels?
Yeah, and it's got carbon discs, so you'll notice that when you brake.
So these ones
This is basically that DB9 but on steroids.
Yeah.
It's got carbon splitter, carbon skirts, carbon bonnet, carbon everything.
Does that plate come with
carbon
it as well?
disc. And how about that?
Yeah.
I mean, so all you have to do, put a little dot there.
Unbelievably bad salesman.
V12 DBS.
Yeah.
That is the car. It's
You
a
missed that,
V12
didn't you?
DBS.
You missed my anagram.
I heard it. Yeah, no,
Is anagram the right word?
Intentionally ignored it, yeah.
Anagram, that's a big word for me, Kev, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, let's get in and see how this one goes. I like the look of this.
Just have a film around the back of it as well.
This has got potential for me, this one.
This rear end is so sexy.
Yeah, that's nice.
Look at that.
Yeah, I love the carbon fibre,
diffuser.
Yeah, that's nice. That's much more a bit of me, Kev, I've got to say.
Yeah.
Right, let's see how she drives, shall we? There we go. Okay. I'll give you the camera.
Right, I'm going to give you this.
You're the cameraman.
This is called the ECU key, the emotional control unit. It's a glass key, and if you drop it and crack that, Aston Martin charge £1,000 for a new one.
Looks like something out of the Ann Summers shop to me. There you go, let's get in, come.
I've never been in there. Is that somewhere you visit?
Not regularly, Kev, now and again.
Regularly.
Not unless Spencer's
so he admits to it.
Right, Kev, I'm very disappointed, I've got to say. I've just got in this car and there's actually a speck of dust on the carpet.
Is there a piece of fluff on the floor?
There's a piece of fluff on the floor, right.
Yeah,
is it the same as the other one? Where do I start out?
It's similar, so you have to insert the key into there. Now,
yeah.
And do it judiciously because it will pop out.
Judiciously? What sort of word's that?
Means with vigour. Right, I'm going to do it for you.
Judiciously.
Put your foot on the brake.
Yeah, it's on the brake.
Right, and this is what you have to do. You have to put it in and hold it.
Yeah.
Your foot isn't on the brake.
It is on the brake, Kev. I know what the brake is. Yeah, it is.
Well,
here we go.
Oh, what? Sorry, you've got to dip the clutch. So,
oh, now he tells me, look.
Right. I thought you'd realise that. And then we're rolling backwards.
Yeah.
Right, the clutch needs to be fully depressed. That's it.
Wow. Okay, so we've got a manual car this time, a little bit different. Let's turn the radio off. There we go. I see what you mean about the
infotainment system's dated, isn't it, on this one?
There we go.
Right, now please don't bounce down the curb.
Yeah, I'll try not.
How long since you last drove a manual?
Manual car, probably about 3 years, I suppose. There we go, I'll take it nice and wide.
Wide, and don't curb the wheels on the other side.
I won't curb the wheels. Now, straight away, this, for me, offers a little bit more interaction, should we say.
It's more engaging, and that's why the purist likes the manual gearbox.
I like
interaction.
I like the gearbox. I like the way it feels. Straight away, I feel quite at home with the car. We're comparing this one with the...
this is being compared with a Patek Philippe Aquanaut.
And you are wearing...
the Tudor black bay. No,
so you could have
black bay, all blacks.
You could have both of these watches for the price of the car and a bit of change, right?
Yeah, I mean, we chose them in terms of the value being the closest to. This car I'm asking £70,000 for. It's the cheapest manual car on the market at the time of this video, unless anyone's put the cheaper one up.
I don't know why I sold that Black Bay Chrono. That was a moment of badness. I should have kept that. Wow, I like it. Yeah, that's a bit more me, Kev.
It's got more thump, hasn't it?
Oh, that's lovely. That is lovely.
And when you lift off, you get a little bit of exhaust burble on the overrun as well.
That is nice. That gearbox, for me, puts this in a different league.
We call it bums on seats.
Yeah.
Right? You know, you have to get in. If this car has never been on your radar, has it?
No.
But having sat in it, driven it now, that it could appeal on another level. And if you want a toy, then you know this could be something that...
Well, this is a big boy's time, and I now feel like I'm driving a bit of a race car, for want of a better expression. It's a driver's car.
Yeah.
You know, whoever buys this enjoys driving, right? That, you know, it's more than just about the car itself.
Exactly.
That's my personal view.
Yeah.
But I love the interaction of a manual gearbox. To be honest with you, the only reason I drive automatics all the time these days is because I'm lazy, Kev.
Just for ease.
Yeah, it's just for ease.
I'm the same. You know, I like luxurious cars. Mercedes S-Class Coupe, Bentley GT.
Wow, you can
Range
feel those
Rover.
brakes as well.
The carbon brakes, they would. They stop the car as fast
as you can
accelerate.
Yeah.
You know, in the opposite direction.
We might try that in a minute.
Yeah, let's do it.
Going sideways.
Can you go? Can you?
Did you know that I can do donuts?
You feel like you're a little bit of a Chris Harris, do you?
Did you know that I can do donuts?
Yeah, only eat them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have 6 jam ones, please.
Especially Greg's, yeah. But this is nice. I mean, this is proper nice. I'm just trying to be straight with the viewers as well, if anyone's interested. Look, you've got the carbon fibre everywhere. This, for me, Kev, it's a real close call between that and the Merc. The difference is I wouldn't drive the Merc. That's a safe queen, right? A garage queen.
Yes.
This is a car that you take out just for the sake of it. You know, when the wife wants a bottle of wine, you'd be volunteering to go and get it.
I'll go.
Yeah, I'll go, yeah.
Yeah. Go on, accelerate quickly.
Wow.
And you feel the turn, the directness of the steering.
Yeah.
You know, it's set up as a sportier car.
Loving the burbles out the back as well.
Yeah.
You don't need the stereo on this one, it's coming out the rear.
And again, a GT car for crossing continents, you know, that V12 engine would drink some juice.
I was going to say, what's sort of like, that's the bad news, isn't it, these days? What's the MPG on something like this, Kev, do you know?
Drive it sensibly and you'll get 25.
Yeah, but who wants to own a car like this and drive it sensibly?
No, but you can't drive everywhere like a hooligan, can you? You know, once you've had a little bit of an acceleration and enjoyed that, then, you know, I suppose again, like I said with the other car, you know, the more power that you have under your foot,
yeah,
you know that you don't need to use it. You are supreme in
Kev,
knowing.
your camera skills are getting worse. You've got half my hearing, half my head and half my ear. Kev's like, you're like Spencer with a camera.
Well, I'm looking at you rather than through the lens.
And that's painful, isn't it? That's the
looking
secret.
At you, yeah.
When you're filming someone, you look at the lens, not the person. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm not the cameraman here.
Well, you are when we go to Geneva, mate. I've got you all booked up.
Yeah.
I hope you've done your weightlifting in the gym, because I've got some bags to carry.
Oh, I've been to the gym, yeah, twice this week. Another go on Friday.
I would thoroughly enjoy taking this out on the motorway and giving it a real run for its money.
It's capable of high top speeds, but they're limited.
In between speed cameras.
The fun bit is the acceleration and the noise. So actually, you don't want a country lane because it's a big car.
Yeah, it's long
and it's long and wide. You know, so you don't, you know, but an open mountain road where you can see, or somewhere in Scotland, you know, where you've got a lovely view all the way down into the lakes or something like that. You know, that's where this car comes into its own. It's
just a little thing, but the positioning of the armrest and the gear stick is perfect.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's been designed specifically for someone that wants to put their arm on the armrest, work the gear stick without having to juggle around.
That little extra bit of padding there that you see here, because this is the cup holder.
Yeah.
But we've got this little.
That's what it's for, is it?
That's there for just resting the elbow.
Yeah, amazing, lovely. See, I couldn't see Spencer driving this.
No.
It's too cool. Do you know what I mean? He needs to stick to his little grey electric cars, doesn't he?
The Volkswagen ID.
Yeah, that's what he needs to stick to.
You see, if you don't go anywhere, electric cars are really good. But a friend of mine went to Chesterfield on Tuesday and he had to charge his car 3 times.
I can't be arsed with it, Kev, honestly. You know, people keep talking to me about electric cars. Honestly, I just cannot be bothered with them. And look, for me, if you're going to spend a lot of money on a car, there's got to be a boy's reason to own it, right? Because we never grow up, right? We're still kids at heart. We might look older, but the interior, you know, there's nothing wrong with the eyesight, right? That's what I always say. And like, look, you listen to the symphony orchestra that's coming out the back of this. There is no replacement for that, is there? And
unfortunately, or fortunately, these cars are not being made anymore. So these are the last generations.
Yeah.
They have to appreciate.
Yeah.
You know, a V12 manual Aston Martin, carbon fibre car, with a number plate that actually virtually reads what it is.
What's not to like?
You know, I mean, if it doesn't sell, I've got it. You know, it's
all the Alcantara inside as well.
Alcantara headlining. This is the dark charcoal. We had the.
Mind you, look at them back seats.
Well, there aren't any.
Well, that would suit Spencer. Get him in the back. Show the viewers. Look, there you go. Bit of leg room for there, Spence.
That's for baggage, and that little cable that you see there, that's for a trickle charger.
This one I actually don't want to take back. I'd be quite happy to do another few miles in this, but I know we got to get back and we got one more to try.
Yeah.
Now.
So out of 10 then?
Well, out of 10, I'm going to give this again a 9.
Okay, that's good.
Really. I mean, look, to me a 10, you got to be putting me in a 488 or a 458, something like that. You know.
Yeah. But you choose the car over the watch.
I'd definitely choose this car over the watch, and I'm not sure what decision I made or was thinking about making earlier on, but I definitely, having driven this car, I'd definitely take the car, 100%.
Alright, if you leave this one, put it in the middle.
Here?
The middle of there, yeah, just nose onto that, that's fine. Okay.
Lovely. So finally, Kev, what we got this time?
Last but not least, possibly the most special of the three cars because of its condition. This car was owned by a channel viewer who was one of the, you think I'm detailed and anal.
Yeah.
This guy takes it to the next level. He has changed all the underbody bolts for stainless items so that they don't go rusty.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can just get the camera
I can see
under the car a little bit at the back there. The underbody is as clean as the exterior.
Yeah, it's like brand new, isn't it?
It is the most immaculate example. There's one tiny mark on the
might be a couple more in it in a minute, but
steady. Yeah, but yeah, this, I'm surprised that this hasn't sold actually, but you know, it's because it's so lovely. You know, this is a car that someone would have to put in a collection, in my opinion, and just take it out. The DB9 and the DBS can both be used as a daily.
So you're not seeing this as an everyday driving car then?
I mean,
really,
it could be, but you wouldn't. I don't think so. Not in this condition.
Because it's so perfect.
You just buy an older one, or a higher mileage one, or something that if you wanted to daily it, it doesn't need to be in such pristine condition.
And is this a James Bond car?
This is also a Bond car. Yeah, this was the car that Pierce Brosnan drove in Die Another Day.
So you are
serviced at Aston Martin Works.
So you are a bit of a Bond fanatic, really, are you? A bit of a Bond fan?
I like Bond. I like Daniel Craig. I come from the era of Roger Moore.
Yeah.
And I've been watching the Bond films on a Saturday afternoon lately. They've gone through the series of them. When you look back and see how cheesy they are and some of the jokes that are in it,
a bit like mine.
Yeah, it's a different era, isn't it, that they came from.
Right, should we get out
I'm a fan of Daniel Craig for sure.
Should we get out?
Yes,
right.
Come on. All right, let's switch keys. I'll give you the key.
You take the camera.
So I film you getting in.
Try not to get too much of the old
filming me.
belly in, Kev, yeah? That's it.
Hit the slim button, that's it.
Hit the slim button, yeah.
Okay, so with this one, you have to put your foot on the brake.
Yeah.
Spin the key in the ignition so you've got... Now pull both flappy paddles towards you and then push the start button in the middle of the dash.
Oh, listen to that. That sounds nice.
So this is also a V12 engine. All three of these cars are V12, but tuned in slightly different ways. The seats in this are more comfortable. Do you notice that already?
Nice headlining.
You've got a quilted Malina type headlining, also in that charcoal. Very practical rear seats in this one. Flappy paddle gearbox. Now this is a clutchless manual, in fact. So it's an automatic, but you feel how it's the accelerator pedal is more like an on-off switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this type of gearbox isn't to everybody's taste, but it's what Aston Martin built. This car on my website at 70,000. My expectations for it when I bought it were up towards 85, and I did have a little bit of interest at that level, but the market, as I say, has changed.
It's dropped a little bit, yeah.
With the Middle East cars coming over here. Now they're all terrible cars. People are buying them and thinking they're buying a bargain, but the engines and interiors are full of sand, and what I often say is buy cheap, buy twice.
Yeah. No, you can see this has been, well, more than lovely looked after. It's pretty much like new inside, isn't it?
Yeah. Smells new still, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's still got that new car smell. Yeah, it's immaculate. Initial impressions. Oh, we forgot to change watches, Kev.
Oh, well, we wanted to get out before the rain.
Initial impressions, mint condition. I mean, like, if you're looking for a car that's like brand new, this will be it. Having driven...
Those dials, look at the cream,
yeah, they're beautiful,
heritage dials.
Having driven 50 yards, the gearbox might be a bit of a stumbling block for me, but let's have a
It's
little
all right
look.
once you get it on. So you change gear on the flappy paddles.
Oh no, I like it.
I thought you would. So
Yeah, that's a bit of fun.
if Lee, if you're watching, Paul finally driving your old car.
Yeah, no, that's a bit of fun. Again, at the moment, I can't get the Merc and the last car,
The
the
DBS.
manual, out of my mind because they were just so impressive, you know?
Well, this is impressive in a different way.
Yeah. This actually feels the most lively.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's the S version, Vanquish S. They made 40 cars, which they called the Ultimate Edition. They sold for about £200,000.
Yeah.
The difference is that the Ultimate Edition cars have an engraved fuel filler cap and some sill plaques and wing badges. There is absolutely no difference to the power, there's no tweak to the power of the engine, and yet those cars, I've watched them recently, make 140, 150, 160,000
Crazy.
pounds.
Can't you go
at
out and buy
auction.
yourself a couple of bits to put on this?
Well, some Ultimate badges.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, Lee told me, as he was told by the chap that he purchased the car from, this was destined to be an Ultimate Edition car.
Yeah.
Now, we can't qualify that, and it clearly didn't become one because it doesn't have those badges, but, you know, just adorned with a few badges and to make the car
That
twice
extra
its
value, yeah.
ridiculous.
Crazy.
So this car, I think 5 years' time is easily 120 to 150,000.
Have you turned the heater on again?
I've not. I haven't got. We need the aircon on, don't we? Let's get that on there. Lower on low.
That's better. And it's just started to rain, so we've timed that quite well by the looks of things.
Well, this car has never been on a wet road, so let's hope we get back before it actually rains and not spits.
So is that right? It's never been driven in the wet?
No.
That's crazy. What's the mileage on it, Kev? 30,000.
30,000, yeah.
Just nothing, is it, for a car like an engine that size?
An engine like this does
just run in, doesn't it?
250,000 miles,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
So what's the, you know, if someone was thinking about buying a car like this, Kev, I don't know anything about them, but what's the servicing implications on something like this? That's something that will bother me. You know, what's the cost to own on a car like this?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Now, a lot of cars, when they get to this age, will end up in the specialist network because typically they charge less than a main dealer.
Yeah.
Main dealers recognise that, and they have something called a heritage program where they will service the car for less. Now, this car's got 21 main dealer service stamps. 21 services for 30,000 miles. It's over-serviced, right?
Crazy.
And they're all Aston Martin main dealer or Aston Martin works. Because of that,
Flappy paddle.
because of that, I don't want to break that history.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had the car in my possession for the best part of a year, and it's done perhaps 250, 300 miles since its last service. I am going to have to put an Aston Martin service on the car just to keep that up.
You don't want to break it.
I don't want to take it to a specialist and save 250 quid. I want that Aston Martin main dealer stamp. If it had specialist history, then, you know, it's already been broken, you know, but you can't put a full main dealer history on a car.
That's the Filofax Kev coming out again, isn't it? You got to do it.
The details.
You got to be. It's the detail. So, what did we compare this watch-wise to? Can you remember what we compared it to?
We said we compared it to the Speedmaster because of the Bond thing.
That's right, yeah.
But that's just a little £7,000 and £8,000 watch.
Yeah, and the GP and the Girard Perregaux.
Girard Perregaux, because of their new association with Aston Martin in Formula 1.
And a few quid left over.
And a lot of money left over because both of those watches don't come to £20,000, do they?
I think in that case, I'm definitely taking the car.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. So points out of 10 for this one, Kev. I'm gonna say for this one, I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna go for a 7.5.
Okay, so that's not as good as the DBS.
Definitely not.
And is it because you feel that it's not as engaging to drive?
Yeah, I would say that the gearbox on this is a little bit more, let's just say, a little bit more industrial, if that's the right word. I really like the manual gearbox in the last one, and the Mercedes, for obvious reasons, just because it's a stunning piece of history. If I was really pushed and I had to choose between one of the two, I think it depends on what mood I was in. If I wanted a car that I was going to drive, I'd go for is it the DBS? Did you say the DBS? Yeah. If I wanted a car to put away, love, look after and polish, and sit with it at night and have a cup of tea, then I'd go for the Merc.
Yeah, this is also excuse me, this is also a car to polish and cherish. Yeah, absolutely, to be fair, yeah. I think that, so let me reverse that, Kev, or let me ask you a question. Of the cars that we've looked at today, which one represents the best investment, would you say? If you can call a car an investment. I think this one, actually, and the reason I say that is because...
You haven't sold it.
The Mercedes has got to put it here. I'm going to put it straight back in the garage.
Yeah.
The Mercedes has got the ability to appreciate naturally, but it will also deteriorate much quicker than this.
Because it's an older car.
Because an older car that'll need a lot more doing to it.
I've had a great day here today. It's been a lot of fun, Kev, but I've decided which one I'm going to take home. I have actually made a purchase while I'm here today, and here it is. So Kev, that was fun. I enjoyed that, mate.
Me too. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was nice of you to trust me to drive all those valuable cars around.
Especially the DBS. Actually, I thought you were quite accomplished with that manual gearbox. I was expecting you to stall that.
I've got to be honest with you, mate. I love that. I think that was probably my favourite today. I mean, look, I don't know. The Merc was just unreal, but in a different way. In a very different way. Yeah. I think if I was going to drive one home, it would definitely be the DB. What was it again?
DBS.
DBS.
Yeah.
The gearbox was just a bit special.
Well, you are Daniel Craig with tattoos, aren't you?
I don't know about that.
So, ex-Hugo Boss model, something
more like Desperate Dan. I don't know about Daniel Craig, but what we got to look forward to, Kev? Well, first of all, we just went to take your watches back to the bank. What a mission that was!
Oh,
Jesus
that's what I thought. I know.
You need to get a new bank, mate. They was like a tortoise, weren't they?
Well, what I wanted to do actually was go to Windsor as well, because some of the American viewers I thought might be interested in seeing around Windsor and the castle, and that might have added a little bit of different context to the video.
Yeah, but we ran out of time. King Charlie hanging out the window waving.
Yeah. Hello, Chaz.
Yeah, he'd probably be sticking two fingers up at us, Kev, not giving us the royal wave. But it was really good. I really enjoyed that, and looking forward. Now we got next week to look forward to, haven't we?
Yeah, next Tuesday. Yeah, we'll be up at the crack of dawn, 5 a.m. at Heathrow.
I might have to come and stay here the night before, Kev.
You have before?
I might have to. I can't see me getting up to Heathrow from Brighton at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Well, we can go and get you takeaway kebab to make you feel at home.
But as usual, everyone's coming with us, right?
Yeah, well, there's 3 of us, and then whoever we meet out there.
Yeah, we'll take all the viewers with us, and we've got a couple of special guests lined up as well. That's going to be fun. So we'll do some live streams, we'll do a bit of filming. Should be really interesting.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Whilst I've got you, Kev, give your business a little plug, because I think you deserve it. You just had an award from Auto Trader
Award for
fussiest
customer
git
service
in the world, which I'm not surprised, because you are very, very fussy.
It's all about the detail.
Tell us a bit about that and your business before you go, and I won't even charge you any extra this month.
That's very kind of you. Yeah, well, www.streamcars.co.uk. Car dealer, sourcing or buying. I'm looking to buy cars as well, if anyone's got any nice cars for sale. Sourcing, of course, as you've seen with the Mercedes, I can do that for people too. So look forward to hearing from anyone that I can help.
So in all seriousness, joking aside, you are obviously one of my trusted dealers, and you know, if you can help any of the watch community that is looking to buy or sell a car, give you a call, Kev. You're always happy to help them. Yeah,
advice as well, of course. Yeah. You can reach out to me.
So feel free to ring Kev up, pester the life out of him, come round, kick a few tyres. He won't mind.
What have you opened the door up for now, hey?
Kev, you know me, I love to stitch you all up. Wait until you see what I've got lined up for Spencer next week.
It's going to be funny.
It is. Right, I'll see you next Tuesday. I shouldn't...
See you next Tuesday.
There's another saying for that, I think.
That's a euphemism.
Yeah, I'll see you early next Tuesday morning at Heathrow.
Yes.
And looking forward to it, mate.
All right, lovely.
Cheers,
Thanks,
Kev.
everyone.
All the best, mate.
Cheers.